Well, it's been a grueling few weeks for hundreds of contestants who took part in the International Mathematics Olympiad. In the past few weeks, with South Africa not doing so well, the event took place at the University of Cape Town, attracting contestants from 103 countries. Professor Johann Engelbrecht, who facilitated the annual event, now joins me now in studio. A very good morning to you, Professor. Thanks very much for joining us. I read there South Africa didn't do so well. Just give us the updates.
Good morning, Peter. South Africa ranked 64th out of 103 countries. So I would rather say that's rather well. We would have liked them to finish in the top half, but 64th is fine. In this process, we were first in Africa, and we beat some serious European countries such as Norway, Finland, and Denmark. So I think our team did well, and I'm very, very proud of them.
What can we read into it? I mean, is there much that we can read into it in terms of our mathematical ability in South Africa?
It's very difficult to compete with the top countries, such as China and the USA, who came out tops. Because they have special schools, they put a huge amount of effort into preparing these teams. So no, we don't want to compete with them. But there are another group of there's another group of countries that we'd like to compete with. Our youngsters do well in this competition. Last year we were 58th, this year 64th. One of our contestants, Robin Visser, got a bronze medal, which is very good. So I think in this area, although we can do better, and we will of course try next year in Thailand, where the 2015 IMO will be, International Mathematical Olympiad. I'm very happy with the performance of the team.
Just explain to us how it all works.
It's a big event, and it was...
I'm not a mathematician by a long stretch. So just in layman's terms, how the competition works and how people are judged and how it's marked and what points are given and all of that.
No, this was the first time that this took place on African soil, so we were honored to be granted the opportunity of hosting this event. And this in itself is a compliment for the country, because the International Mathematics Olympiad Advisory Board looks at the mathematical abilities in a country before they decide that a country can host such an event. So we consider it an honor to have been chosen as host for this event. The competition runs over 2 papers. Those were written last Tuesday and Wednesday, consisting of 3 problems each. Now, let me be quite frank with you, these problems are tough.
They're not problems.
No, they are really tough. Okay. The leaders of all the countries formed a jury, and they got together a week before, and I sat on that jury and we set the papers. So it's a group of about 150 of the best mathematicians that got together to set these papers, and that was a great experience. So in the end, the students write these 2 papers. They get 4.5 hours per paper, so that means 90 minutes per question. The total is 42. That's an interesting total. Each question contributes 7 marks. And we had 3 contestants this year who got full marks. One from Australia, one from China, and one from Taiwan.
They cracked it.
Absolutely. It was amazing. I can tell you those problems are such that matured mathematicians struggle with them. They are really hard problems. The closing ceremony was on Saturday night in Cape Town, and this was a spectacular event. It was at the University of Cape Town, and it was a good Olympiad. Everybody is very positive about the way that it was organized.
It's not
a
team event, right? It's an individual event.
No, it's an individual event, but in the end we do add the scores of the different team members to rank the countries. But it's really an individual event. They never compete
for it. Can you prepare the students for it?
Are you asking about how we prepare them?
Yeah.
Yes. No, we have a big training program. The team selection process in our country, we look at the results of the South African Mathematics Olympiad, which is organized by the South African Mathematics Foundation, which I'm involved in, and which consists of 3 rounds. In the first round, we have over 80,000 participants. Second round, about 10, 15,000. In the last round, about 100 or 200 if you include the juniors. We look at those results, and then we take the best performers, and expose them to a training program, which we have an internet program and a correspondence program, but we also run camps at different universities. These youngsters attend these camps, and we look at their performance at these camps before we do the final team selection. We did speak to the Netherlands this year, who improved from, I think, 45 to 13th in the world. Asked them what their trick is, and we got some good advice. So we may be looking at what they did in preparation for next year's event.
Now, Professor, this is all good and well. These mathematicians come and they succeed. Generally, what kind of line of business do they go into? Is it an academic field or an engineering field? Has any research been done on that?
Yeah, I think most of them would become academics, which is good. We need the good people to teach in the next generation. Many of them would end up as academics at universities. Many of them would also go in applications of mathematics, such as in the finance, actuarial field, engineers, computer scientists. So most of them would follow a numerical career. And we need more and more of these, so I would really ask and recommend to all youngsters to start participating in mathematics competitions, because that's a good preparation for university mathematics, and it provides some problem-solving skills which there is not really space for in the normal curricula. So please participate in next year's event. We want to send the best team to Thailand.
My next question, I'm very interested to know what the answer is. What part of mathematics is taught, and what part is just your natural ability to think like that?
Well, that is a question that I wish you did not ask. It's a tough question. Of course, there is some natural ability, but mathematics, such as any other activity, if you look at an athlete, doesn't matter how much talent you have, if you don't get good coaching and good exercise, good training, you will never succeed. The same is true for mathematics and even competition mathematics. Doesn't matter how good you are born, how clever you are when you're born. You really need some repeated exposure to that type of activity, and you need some good coaching. So I think more than half can be acquired. And of course, it helps if you are born quite clever, but most of it can be acquired.
And do we have enough, in terms of the teaching staff in mathematics in South Africa?
No, unfortunately not. There are some pockets of excellence, and there are good schools, especially in the cities. There are really excellent schools that compare with the best in the world. But in a large number of schools, we need better trained mathematics teachers, and this is one of the big problems. And I'm fighting for this. I really want our society to raise the status of mathematics teachers. We want the best of us to teach our children, and you will find few youngsters, high school learners, that aspire to become a mathematics teacher. If you ask them, would you like to become a teacher, few of them would be interested, and that's really a pity. I really think we should try to change that.
Well, I'll say congratulations, South Africa coming 64th, is that right?
64th, yes.
64th,
yes.
In the International Mathematics Olympiad. Chatting to Professor Johann Engelbrecht. He was involved, he's a maths professor at the University of Pretoria, also involved with the Olympiad, which was hosted in South Africa this year, in Cape Town, and the next one will be held in Thailand next year. So get in and try and become a part of that International Maths Olympiad. Appreciate your time this morning. Thanks.